Noninkables.
Hello, welcome to Noninkables. We are on episode number 29 of the podcast. I do feel like I have been on a hiatus from basically, I think, mostly from playing Lorcana because there's like no more set champs and there's no big competitions remaining this set that we're going to. I'm just waiting for set 9 to be completely released, or I guess revealed, and then we can start deck building. There is another big competition locally, but it is the same day as our daughter's birthday party, so obviously we're going to that instead. So the competition is Bibbidi Bobbidi Brawl, and it will be on August 23rd at Game Castle Santa Clara. It's $50 entry, and the first place is a foil Cinderella promo, and second place is a Let It Go. I think I've talked about it before. They now just also included that the top 2 players will also receive free entry into the Fabled Showdown, which is going to be at Constellation Collective in Sacramento. So the Fabled Showdown is going to be September 13th, which we also can't go to because we're going to be in Denver for PPG Pro Play Summit. But it's September 13th. It starts at 9:30. And you can win for first place 2 boxes of Fabled and a DLC Cinderella foil playmat. Second place is 2 boxes of Fabled and Gen Con 2025 playmat. And then third place is 1 box of Fabled, Winnie the Pooh foil playmat. Fourth place is 1 box of Fabled and Belle foil playmat. And then it packs after that up to 16th place, which is pretty cool. I wish we could go, but we can't. So it's going to be at Constellation Collective, and it's in collaboration with MGL. So MGL is the hybrid league that we've been playing on, and Swiss just ended this past week. I ended up placing 11th out of 50 players. And the last couple, let's see, 9th through 14th were all the same record. So 4-2 is just based on tiebreakers. I was 11th, Brian ended up being 14th, and Tyler ended up being 17th. So this week I played against Brandon, who I think played Tyler the week before. And I knew he was going to play Amber Steel. He played Amber Steel last set. Although he did play, I guess, Purple Steel when I played against him for the Gamelandia, PPG Texas qualifier. But his normal deck is Amber Steel. So I was like, oh, he's probably going to play Amber Steel aggro because he thinks I'm going to play Red-Blue. So then I played Purple Steel. I played JDRR's Bunny Purple Steel deck. So mid-tempo, I don't know what it's called, mid-tempo control, whatever. Mid-whatever range tempo, maybe that's what it's called. So I played that deck, and I ended up winning 2-0. Trying to think. Oh, one of the games, he had a super, super wide board. I think he had 7 characters, 2 Daisies, 2 Cinderellas, a Doc, an Ursula Vanessa, and a Lawrence. And at that point, I was like, oh, I really wish I had B Prep, but obviously that doesn't exist in Purple Steel. And then I think I had a Strength. So I had to choose. I was like, okay, what character? And I had that game, I ended up drawing 3 Peats in my opening hand. And then I drew into another Pete, and I bounced one of the Peats. So essentially I played 5 Peats, which I think kind of wrecked his game plan. And he was going to just quest basically in 1 turn. And I think play a Vinny so that if I got rid of anything, he would get lore. But I had a Strength. So I was like, oh, what do I strength? I was like, do I strength the Daisies because they quest for 2? Or do I strength the Lawrence because it attacks for 4 because it was undamaged? But then I was like, no, I think I'm supposed to strength the Ursula Vanessa. And that ended up being the right decision because he was going to sing Zeus with that Ursula Vanessa. So it ended up being a good decision in the end. So I ended up winning 2-0, but it wasn't enough. I think I kind of knew that going into this round because the top 8 could just ID and make it in, which I think most of them did. There were a few people who played out their games. So it didn't make top 8, but also I don't mind because I haven't been playing and I don't want to keep playing this set. I just want to work on my foil mats because it's my new Hyperfixation. They also had a raffle, which was cool. So I ended up winning a Cinderella Melody Weaver Enchanted. So that's like set 4, the Singer 7. So yeah, that is pretty much the only Lorcana I've played. I did try to test some like early set 9 decks, and I tried out a, what was it? It was like a red purple deck, which I liked. That was pretty cool. But that's my time has been spent foiling mats. So the rest of this podcast will just be me showing you all the mats I've foiled. There've been so many. Okay, so let's see. First things first, I did foil the 2 mats that I was commissioned to do. So one was a Scar mat. So there's some foiling, shiny foiling on the like paw smoke thing. And then there's like some more matte foiling on some of the highlighty parts. That one was fine. And then I also foiled an Ursula mat, and I definitely like undercharged for this. I mean, I also was like, oh, I'll give you a deal since you're like my first customer. But this Ursula mat, I feel like 1, I undercharged. 2, I would like, if I were to do it again, I would probably only do it for myself or for like $200 or something crazy, because it was so time intensive. So this is the Ursula mat. So this has like 7 different colors, and it's like super detailed foiling, which I feel like I pushed my Cricut to the extremes, and it was like very, like once you get to like really intricate parts, sometimes the Cricut struggles a little bit to like make the tiny little cuts. So I did have to do some like hand cutting for this mat. But let me see if I can show it. So all the people down here, their ink casters have a little bit of foiling. So a little green, a little orange, a little pink, okay? And then the eels obviously have foiling in the pink parts, and then their yellow eye. And then Ursula, her Triton is foiled, her necklace is gold, and then the seaweed is like a slightly lighter pink. And then I did some additional like silver foiling on the like highlights that are white in the original. So yeah. So it is done, and I don't know if I will do this mat again. Or maybe I'll just do a different version where it's slightly less intricate. But I was given free artistic reign, and that meant I went crazy. So those are the mats that I have been commissioned to work. And then I did a bunch of my own mats. So I do want to show those off. I also did do Carrie's mat that I can't show. Not family friendly. So let's see. Of my own mats. Okay. And then I have them all in like this giant mat roll that you don't know where I'm going to hang yet. It's quite heavy, so I may just keep it in this to like protect the mats, but not hang it. Okay. So let's see. Oh, I wanted to show. I did another Elsa mat. So I'd done an Elsa mat before, and this one I did like a slightly different design, which I think as I do more mats, I'm going to get better at foiling them, and you can see the improvement. So this is the first Elsa mat I did, right? So it's just one color, it's just the diamonds and then the swirls. That's the first one. This is one I did yesterday. So I added foiling to her hair, a little bit to the mountains, and then these diamonds, instead of being like just a solid diamond, it's just the outline. And then I feel like I made her swirl things in 2 different colors and like overlapped them. And the lines are a little bit neater, because if you look, this Elsa mat was like my first one. So it has a ton of flaws. So for example, like here, there's actually like 2 pieces that are connected because I cut it and then I didn't size it properly, and then I cut it, and then like the lines are a little bit like weird and jaggedy. Especially on the like circle part. It's not like smooth because I hadn't figured out the best way to make the template. And so this is the new one. I feel like it looks way better, way more professional and higher quality. So that is one that I've redone. I need to buy a bell mat because I really want to redo the bell mat. So this is the one I did. It's like my second or third mat I did. I like it, but I think the petals could be more detailed. And then I also would want to put foiling on the rose. And I think the more foiling mats I do, the more I'm moving towards like a slightly different style, I suppose, of foiling. So when I first started, it was like I would just color the whole thing in with foil. So like I feel like this part looks kind of like simple. And then now when I'm foiling, I tend to do more like the foil as a highlight. So it's like a lot thinner, and I think it looks better. It is like way harder to do and more intricate, but I think it looks better. Okay, so let's see other mats I did. I did a Rapunzel mat. Look at this. It looks so good. So I foiled all this side part. Look at that. It's a hidden Mickey right there. That exists in the art. This foil side. And then she has like highlights that are foil. I think if I were to do this mat again, which I probably will, I'll do the highlight in like a slightly different color. I did find a foil that is that I used on Elsa. That is like a little more transparent and like a little, so I think that one will look better than this current one. I feel like it's a little dark. It is like a reddish orange, but I think it's a little dark. So I would change that to a thinner foil. So that's my Rapunzel. And then I've shown you guys my Jafar mat, I think. My champion Jafar mat. I think it's good. It still looks good. No changes if I were to do it again. And I feel like this is probably the first mat where I started to do more highlight type of foil. Okay, I did a, let's see, what is this? Oh, this is the Donald Duck Buccaneer mat that I made ages ago. Has silver and gold. So gold on his outfit plus a silver on the steel little thing. It's actually gold, I think, in the picture, but I felt like it's steel, so it should be silver. And then silver on his sword. That's Donald Duck. Ooh, I did also do a giant Tinc mat. I guess it's technically not complete. So I didn't do the seagulls initially because I couldn't decide on what color to do the seagulls. I think I'm going to end up doing them white. I found this like opalescent white foil, so I'm going to do that. But this is my giant Tinc mat. So I did these leaves in this like matter foil because they're just black. And then I accidentally, this one I didn't size super well. I figured out a way after I made this mat of how to size it a little bit better. But I actually kind of like the offset so that the original print looks like it's shadowed. And then I did foiling on the water around her, and then her outfit and the wings, and then her little hair thing all has foiling. And it's a different color green from the leaves. Yeah, and then I will, and then so these seagulls I didn't do yet, but I'm gonna do them today. And I think I'm gonna do white. I was trying to decide between white and purple because I like purple, but I think I'm gonna do white. I think it'll look better. It'll like not, otherwise it's gonna stand out too much, I think, and all you'll see are seagulls. So I did that one earlier in the week. I've literally been doing like 2 mats a day all week, not playing any Lorcana. Okay, I've also did, is this the one I did yesterday? Maybe, yeah. How far I'll go? So there is a little bit of like slightly matter foiling on the water. And then the clouds have some highlight. And then these flowers down here are actually two-toned. Can't really tell, but it's like a pink and a purple. So they're two-tone flowers. And that is my How Far I'll Go mat. And then, this is the last one that I've completed that I did yesterday. So yesterday I did this one plus the new Elsa. I did a Winnie the Pooh Honey Wizard. It's so pretty. So this has a lot of like little detail foiling, which is, I think, gonna be, it's probably like more like my style. So on the edges, there are these plaques. I have some purple and green like matte foiling because it's like technically not the focus. So I didn't want to make it super shiny. And then same thing on this other side, a little bit of matte green and purple. And then the bumblebees have gold on their gold parts, and then their wings are foiled. And then there's like foiling on the honey as a highlight. And then I added some foiling on his outfit, the purple. And I feel like the glare of the light makes these look a little bit darker than they do in real life when you're like have it set down and it's not so glary. They make it look a little bit darker. But yeah, that's the last one I've done. And then what I'm working on, so I still have the Gen Con ones because those are going to be super detailed. So I was waiting for all the new foils I bought to come in. And I think they arrived yesterday. So I will be working on that. So the Gen Con ones, which are going to be kind of complicated. And then I'm doing all of our Lorcanos mats. Ooh, I didn't show that one. Hold up. Did I put it away? Okay, so I will be doing all our Lorcanitos. Is it Lorcanita? No, it's dysfunctional pass holder. I think they're called Lorcanos mat. So I did this one for Brian. It's the Derpy Cindy mat. So I foiled along basically the silver and the gold. So there's like a little bit on the sword, a little bit on her outfit, and then a little bit on the shield. And I've already made the design for this Ursula one. And this one's going to be like super foiled. So basically everything is going to be foiled, including this black outline, except for like all of this pink and purple will be foiled. Ursula obviously will be, maybe, I don't know. I don't think I'm going to do foiling on like big swaths like this, but like all this pink and yellow will be foiled. The black outline will be foiled. Eels, obviously. So that one I've made. I still need to make a design for Mirabelle. I think for Mirabelle, I may try and just like make it more complicated looking with the foiling. Like add a little bit of my own art. And then obviously I have my champion mat that I need to foil. This one I'm saving towards the end because I don't want to mess it up. And I feel like the later I do it, the better my technique will be. And then I have my Neopets mat, which I need to foil. It's going to have so much foiling because there's so much detail on that mat. And let's see, in terms of local people, I know JJ wants me to do a giant Tinc mat, and then Mr. Gibbs, I think his name is, actually, I don't want to say the wrong thing. I want to say Brandon, but I don't know. But Mr. Gibbs, the person who had me do the Scar and the Ursula mat, has like 2 more mats he wants me to do. And so that's what I have in terms of local stuff. And then, oh, I also need to do the Hades mat because I have that, and then Rescue Rangers and Tigger, because those are like extra mats that I have, and I have extras of, I think We Are Immortals, Elsa, and some other ones. So if you're local and you want one of those mats, let me know. I feel like probably in a couple weeks I'll figure out exactly how to do it, and then like figure out my pricing for everything, and maybe I'll work on a website so I can sell them and ship them to people eventually, because I do enjoy foiling mats a lot. Yeah, a little side hustle, I guess. But for now, if you want a foiled mat, you can buy them on Matify. I think, I don't know if he has them in stock currently, but I'll put a link in the description down below. But they do mats, I think a little less, with less detail than mine. I think it's just a style thing. And so, yeah, if you're local and you have a mat you want me to foil, let me know. Ooh, I did buy a mat for Brian that I'm going to foil. I bought a mat on Etsy. It's like the Enchanted Diablo artwork. So I'm going to foil that. I'm pretty excited about that. And the problem is now every mat I see, I go, ooh, I could foil that. So yeah, if you're local and you want a mat foiled, I would say now is the time to contact me, since I haven't set just concrete prices for anything. I feel like they are only going to get more expensive in the future, because while I like doing mats, it's not going to be like the way I make money. And so it's kind of like I'll do one if I want to. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. But yeah, depending on the design and how you want it to look and how much foiling you want, I'll let you know price. So yeah. Do you have anything else to say? I don't think so. I'm just waiting for all the cards to get released. I think the last creator release is tomorrow. And then they'll probably release the rest on their Lorecast on Thursday, is my guess. Hopefully, because we need to know what the cards are so that we can build decks. And then I feel like set 9 will be here before we know it. And then it releases, and I think immediately we go to PPG Denver. So, eeks. Yeah, that's all I got. As always, keep shuffling. Hopefully, you don't end up with a whole handful of Noninkables like me. And that's it. All right, bye.